Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey besties, hey, it's Behind the Shade, and I just got through watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's season 15, episode 20. It's the reunion part 2. And Dorita's on my nerves. You know, she got her check cut. She got a pay cut, y'all. She's not making as much as she used to. Yeah. I see why. She's insufferable. She's a narcissist. She won't shut up. She's over talking people. Kyle is trying to get her point across and she's trying to keep going. Dorit is hollering and screaming and she won't shut up. She won't let you talk. She won't listen. She just wants you to listen to her. She's disrespectful. I felt like she disrespected Andy. I really do. I do. She trying to run the show. I don't know who put this battery in her back, but honey, I if they let her go, I wouldn't be mad. Dorit, you gotta find another job. You just need to redo your whole entire life, honey. Cause this ain't it. I don't want you back. I don't. Besties, PK did an interview this week. Check it out. It wasn't bad. I didn't watch all of it, but I believe he told his truth about Dorit. I believe the podcast was called something like We Need to Talk. I believe that was what it was. We Need to Talk. I think that's what it's called. A black guy is the host, and they were just having a good conversation. PK was just laying it out there on the line. But let's get into this recap because, honey, when I tell you it's 12:33 a.m. on the West Coast, I'm working overtime for y'all, and I got to go to work early in the morning and work all night long. And I had a long day yesterday and today. But here we are. Let's get into it. Why don't we? Shall we? Yes. So, Bose and Amanda, they go back and and back again about if Bose is losing money on her business. No, she's not. So when she was explaining that, what she was doing was a charitable venture, Amanda admits that she said Bose's business isn't going well. Because you told me that. You told me your business was losing money. Bose says she does not have the same intentions as Amanda because she's promoting her business to become rich AF. Okay. Amanda agreed. Then Amanda addressed Bose's comment that she was starting a cult. And she says, she explains what a cult is about. And she's like, she's doing the exact opposite. She says she's encouraging women to think for themselves and get them out of that, think like your dad, listen to your husband, get you out of that mindset, right? So Bowles disagrees and she still doesn't know what Amanda's business is about because you don't want to know. It's definitely a generation thing. then, then Andy brought up how Sutton didn't like that Dorit did a deep dive on Amanda and brought up, how Sutton did the same thing back in 2020 about Erica. And Sutton said, no, they all had us read the same article. And I'm like, how is that a deep dive, Andy? She read an article like any of us can read an article. It's journalism. How is that deep diving? And so Sutton was like, no, I didn't do any more searching like the rest of these girls. I didn't get into all that because I don't do all that. Okay. And I bet you Sutton don't even know how to do all that. Okay. So then Dorit put Sutton on blast for doing a deep dive on Amanda. Well, you told me and you wanted to sign up for her classes, and so they wrote the flashback because that's what production does, honey. So Sutton was like, she was on the video talking about, yeah, I want to take her classes. I think it'd be kind of cool because I want to make $500,000 a month. And it was just she was being sarcastic, being funny with it. She was, she was kidding. So then Dorit blasted Sutton once again. She was like, well, didn't you tell me that Amanda took out a $2 million loan before she started filming? And Sutton was like, I told you somebody told me that. I ain't went to look for none of that. Someone told me that. I was like, was it Avi before you fired him? So then Amanda was like, hello, y'all. Y'all talking amongst yourself, but this is my package. And Rachel's like, what is a package? Rachel, get into it, honey. Get into it. If you stop talking about your ex so much, maybe you can learn the show and how this thing works. Her show didn't have a reunion, y'all. What was her show? Runway Model or some Project Run, whatever. She didn't have a reunion. Okay, maybe not. So then, y'all, Amanda tells us she was bothered by Erica asking Chat GPT about her because, it's all on Reddit and, they report all the horrible things. And so, Bose did not have that same experience. When she looked herself up on Chat GPT, it was positive, but it did mention her short tenures at corporations. So Bose explains that being a CFO, well, no, it was a CMO, right? CMO, like I'm self-employed. I don't know about all this stuff. But I think it was a CMO. And she said your tenure when you come into a corporation, because it is short term. And you come in, you complete the mission, and you move on. And so the flip side of that is if the business fails, they blame it on the CMO. It's their fault. So Andy had questions about it. And so Bose explained it. She kind of went around the circle about it. And so, yeah, let's move on. So Kyle says that we shouldn't be talking about each other's businesses. We should be supporting each other. Honey, Dorit took that, jumped in and rode that donkey. Okay. She was all over it, honey. She was like, you funny you say that. You don't support my business. So Kyle had to list every event that Dorit had that Kyle went to. It was Boca de Beppo where she did the renovation at the restaurant. Boca de Beppo, am I saying it right? I think I am. I've been there once. It was all right. Her bathing suit line, her tanning cream. She didn't mention the wedding dresses, but I don't know if she had a launch for that. And so Dorit keeps saying, but you didn't support my book release. Baby, you didn't have a book at the book release. It was a no book in sight book cover reveal. It wasn't even a release. It was a reveal. So, and then Kyle had to tell her, you don't have a book. It was a picture. I was like, oh, the shade, Kyle. Honey. She was like, it was a picture. You tripping off me not coming to see a picture. And you know what, Bessie, what I thought about it, I was like, right. Like, what kind of event is this? You having all this hoopla-ha to show somebody a book cover. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-mf-and-do. Come on. A book cover party? Girl. A book cover party. No book in sight. Child, was the co-authors even there? So Dorit's thing is like, well, I haven't had an event in 6 or 7 years. It's been 6 or 7 years. Don't talk about the past. I ain't talking about stuff that happened 10 years ago. I'm talking about these last 2 years that they haven't even been friends. They've been struggling with their friendship for the last 2 years. Dorit, shut up. Golly. So then Kyle reads the text message between her and Dorit when she told Dorit she wouldn't be able to come. She said something, I'm going to paraphrase, something to the fact that she had been up since 2 a.m. She's exhausted trying to get this wedding together. She says, she acknowledged that they still need to talk and hopes that she sees Dorit at the wedding and good luck on tonight's event. So Dorit's response was, I get it. Thanks for the good luck wishes. Take care of yourself. And yes, we will talk soon. And of course, yes, I'm coming to the wedding. Okay, cool. What's the problem, Dorit? Andy asked Dorit, did Kyle misunderstand your tone? Yes. Huh? Because, they ran the tape back because Dorit was talking crap about Kyle not being there to Bose. And Bose just egging it on. Dorit says yes, because Bose is telling her Kyle could at least came for 30 minutes. She could have came, saw the picture, and left. Girl. Bose. Shut up. I need you to shut up too. And then when, Bose is, got her back. Remember, Bose supports her more than anybody. So then Kyle made fun of Dorit's response, but she said, absolutely. Oh, girl. So Dorit said in her text, she was just being polite. She didn't mean none of that. So Kyle was like, oh, you was hiding your true feelings? She was like, yeah, because I was hurt, Kyle. So Kyle says Dorita's trying to paint her as this a-hole, and she ain't going for it. Kyle is fighting for her reputation, honey. So Dorita explains that she shows up when she's tired, So then she blames Kyle, Eric, and Sutton for being jealous, honey, of her friendships with Bose and Rachel. Eric was like, say what now? Do what? And Sutton's like, don't put me in that. You got me effed up. Don't put me in that. And so she says Kyle is intimidated and think that Bose be winding her up. Well, yes, she does. She puts the battery in your back, girl. Oh, goodness. Kyle intimidated of Bose and Dorit. Girl, Kyle is trying to fight for her husband. Kyle's only mission is to get that man that she is married to fall back in love with her. She ain't worried about you and Bose, honey. She got other fish to fry, okay? Bigger fish to fry. Big, big, big fish to fry, honey. Honey. So that was funny. Kyle keeps going on about all the supporting that she's done for Dorit over the years. I was there now. She's like, I took up for you when they was calling you fake and phony with that fake accent. And have y'all noticed Dorit says nothing about that accent? Because Kyle has said at least 3 times she has mentioned Dorit's fake accent, and Dorit says absolutely nothing about it. Yeah, it was something about your kids, the dog, and Dorit just keep talking over Kyle. Just keep talking, keep hollering, keep screaming. Oh, it's exhausting. This girl don't want to hear nothing about nothing that happened 10 years ago. That's a narcissistic trait. But yeah. Child. And why don't you want to hear about it? Because they're facts? Because you don't want to take accountability? You don't want to Dorit, goodness. Oh my gosh. You just don't want to give Kyle any credit. Like you really want her to be the a-hole in this story. She's the villain in your story. Okay, Dorit. So Kyle is trying to talk. Dorit is deflecting. And it was exhausting. Was y'all tired of this? I know I am. So Kyle keeps talking about the things she has done to defend Dorit. I defended you with Lucy, Juicy, Apple, Goosey. I was like, wait, what? Your fake accent, the burglary, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they just going back and forth and back again. And so Andy's like, let's move on. Andy will be like, let's move on. So a viewer told Dorit that she was wrong for continuing the argument with Amanda after Amanda told her that it was her son's, his anniversary of him not being on Earth anymore. It was like the 3rd year. And Miss Ma'am still wanted to get to the bottom of Amanda saying how she shouldn't talk bad about PK because it can affect her divorce. And really, like, that ain't even nothing to even address somebody about. So what? You know, and so, Andy asked Dorit, how does she feel about that? So Dorit was like, I just feel like she just had excuse me, I just feel like she had an opinion about her and PK when she don't even know them. Exactly. And and Amanda don't even remember saying it. Like, it was, nobody cares. I told you, Amanda don't have a skin in the game. She could care less. She just said something because they was talking about it. Move on, Dorit. So then Rachel says, well, that's not the part that behooved me about the evening at my house. What I was pissed about was, Amanda, you telling Dorit how, you just sat down and wrote your book and you asked her, oh, you need co-authors? And so she said, stop one-upping people. It's not a good look on you. Amanda was like, oh, okay. So Andy kind of like asked her, what have you learned since you've been in this group? She said, it has taken me a while to feel like myself in this group. I love all the ladies. They have good hearts, but it's just taking some time. So then they break to go to lunch for 30 minutes, and then Kathy and Jennifer Tilly arrives. Jennifer Tilly got the beautiful Balmain dress on. That is a picture of her. And remember, her makeup is the same picture on the dress. She can't sit in the dress because it's a standing only dress. So, like, when she sit down, it's tight. And I believe it's sequence. That's not comfortable. Then her face is moving because her body has, folded to sit down. How she bending. So the dress is just bent out of shape. It's a mess, right? Not comfortable. She can't move in it. And so this day, the day of the reunion is March 13th. It's a Friday, Friday 13th, and it's Kathy Hilton's birthday. And so she tells us about this diet she tried. It was an AI Jello diet, but AI lied and said Oprah did it, and somebody else, Michelle Obama did it, and Kelly Clarkson did it, and it made her bloated. She lost 2 pounds, and then it just tore her up. So she's bloated, can't wear no dresses. So she's in this moo-moo looking silver ruffle dress. It looks terrible. I did a report on it, you guys. I don't know if you heard my fashion. I covered everybody's fashion for the reunion, and I did not like her dress. But it actually didn't look half bad with her sitting on, when she was in it sitting down. She didn't look too shabby. So next is Mauricio and Kyle. They talk about how Kyle broke down when her and Mauricio went to see their former home that Amanda bought and renovated. They wanted to show Kyle and Mauricio the upgrades and the renovations. So Kyle just was wondering, she got in her feelings. She was having nostalgia moments of raising all her kids and being there with him and the dogs and the parties and just everything. And I don't even think she was prepared for this breakdown she had. And she just was asking, how did we let this happen? Well, Kyle, when two people who are married stop working for the marriage, that's how it happens. You both got to, throw in a towel. Somebody just quits working on the marriage. That's kind of how it works. Yeah. So, and then she was just really like pushed back because Mauricio was in business mode when he came over. He was disconnected, detached from all the fond memories she was trying to go down memory lane, and he was just like, oh, you're crying. Why? Let me hear. Like, totally not doing this with her. And that hurts too. He didn't want to go down memory lane with the family. So then they discussed there was a holiday party. I believe maybe it was in Aspen. They had a holiday party, And Kyle talks about how Mauricio came and he showed up and acted like a single man. He there, working the room, seeing who's in there, disregarded her whole entire presence. And she's sitting there like, I'm still your wife. Girl, be quiet. Please stop. Stop pretending in Colorado, okay? It's something about Colorado that just really makes Kyle want to be married. And I don't even know if she be feeling away when she's in Beverly Hills, but when she goes to Colorado, I think she should stop going to Colorado. So Andy asked Kathy, why do you think they haven't filed? Why are you asking her sister about her business? Okay, well, Kathy says they're in denial. I said, Kathy, that ain't it. And so Rachel said something of another. Kyle says, when someone new comes along, they will force us to get divorced. And Bose was like, well, that's going to cause anger. So you need to just go and make it happen right now, Captain, while you ain't got no emotions and feelings in it, instead of blaming somebody else for your divorce. Honey, Kyle said she'd rather blame someone else for her divorce. I said, girl, child. So Andy asked, are you afraid the relationship will change once you're divorced? Kyle, she said a slow yes, well, yeah. So Dorit was like, are you waiting for him? I was like, yes, Dorit, that's the question. That was the best question of the night. Are you waiting for him? And so Kyle said, what, to file? Dorit was like, no, but to come back. I'm like, exactly. Go say yes, Kyle. She's not sure, but she do like hanging on to him still. She do. She want him to come back. So she said on the family trips, to Colorado, she likes how they meet in the kitchen and they have their coffee and they talk. And then, when they go to bed, they go to their separate rooms. And then, they go out to dinner, spending time. And so Rachel was whispering, talking about, honey, Mauricio is outside. He don't act like that here. I see him 3 times a week. Oh, he be outside. He lives a whole different lifestyle. So then the fan asked, will she ask him for half of the agency? Kyle was like, boo-boo, half of it is mine. I'm like, well, no, it ain't. I don't think so, y'all. That's not true. I found out, y'all, that Kyle is waiting for the agency to go on its IPO so she can get half. They only own like 37% of the agency. So she's trying to wait till they, make some more money because they got investors. Yeah. So the shares are saturated because you got everybody gets a coin. So she just wait until it grows some more and she can get more out of it. That's what I think, honey. But I think she would do want her husband back. But yeah, she said, well, half of it is mine. We worked for that. I was there from day one. Girl, don't play with me. I got 30 years of this. I remember he was poor, broke, and lonely, honey. Don't do that. That's my money too, honey. So then they move on to Alexa's wedding, and Kathy cried for Kyle because she felt alone as the mother of the bride. And so Kyle is like, yeah, I did not envision any of this. So Kyle's voice is cracking. She's trying not to get emotional. And, she said, she wasn't in the marriage for the money. There was no money. And so she even told Mauricio she would be okay with going to Vail to Colorado and be there and be broke, But she said, I don't want to live in LA and not have any money. It's not fun. But he could have moved to Colorado. He could have been a ski instructor and she would have been a housewife and they would have made it. And Kyle believes they would still be together had they moved there. I'm like, ooh. So then, child. Kyle is stuck on Mauricio. And I get it, 30 years in, 4 kids, 3 biologicals, dogs, just, I get it. But, whew. Okay. Andy brings up Kyle's dating life and the person who didn't want to be on the show and how tight-lipped Kyle has been about it. Kyle says a lot of people on these shows have secret relationships. And you know what? That's their right. You don't have to bring the people you're dating onto the reality of your show. You don't want to bring people to the show until you know it's real. You don't bring everybody you meet to meet your parents, to meet your kids, to meet your friends. You bring somebody around when it's something solid. You know, look at Destiny on Love and Marriage Huntsville. She was dating. They calling her all kind of names because she's dating, single and dating, and you get called all these old whorish names because you're dating. So yeah. So the question was, did y'all break up because you wanted to stay on the show and they didn't? She was like, no. Now, I did not know that Kyle and Morgan broke up. You know, the word on the curb is they break up when she films. She said that ain't true. So Dorit even admitted that she has protected Kyle because she knows all about the relationship and she has said nothing. Girl, it was given NDA because Dorit's not mature enough to have someone's back wholeheartedly. And for her to be like, yep, she put it out there without saying something, it was given, you're not going to say nothing because there's an NDA involved. And so, Kyle was like, because, Andy like, well, aren't you glad she didn't say nothing? And she's like, yeah, thanks to my friends that support me. Yeah, I'm like, exactly. That's what friends supposed to do. So Dorit want to know who on the show not telling about their relationship. She was hecka thinking like, it ain't Erica because we know she dating that old man. Is it Sutton? Is it Jennifer has a boyfriend in Vegas, right? Who else could, I don't know. We talked about Rachel's little friend. And so, girl, let's move on from that because they said, Kyle said, girl, everything's not up for public consumption. Like, get a life. Sure, Dorita, are you dating? Shoot. So Kyle says she is single. They have broken up. She is single and she is not heartbroken about it. But she wants that old thing back. So on to Sutton Brown. She stopped drinking vodka heavily. She said she was drinking. She said not too much, but I was drinking frequently. Sutton, same thing, ma'am. Same thing. So she said she just has like champagne at dinner because she needed a reset. So, honey, they go on to Garcelle, honey. What happened? Well, I think when I said at the reunion last year that I was surprised that me and Erica got along so well, that made her mad. But I wasn't surprised when Garcelle was helping me with my mom. That wasn't a surprise. Girl, you don't deserve Garcelle. And so this was said after Erica said Garcelle was boring and wasn't bringing nothing to the show. And honey, Erica was looking like, yeah, I said it, and she's not here. Ooh, Erica, make Dorit go away, okay? Can you do that for me, please? So Jennifer Tilly says that, Garcelle and Sutton had a genuine friendship. And Sutton, excuse me, y'all. And Sutton hopes that they can talk, make up, get it back together. She want to reconcile. Girl, Garcelle is booked and busy, child. Leave a message after the tone. Beep. So then Jennifer Tilly apologizes to Sutton. And, remember she was talking smack about Sutton to Kyle. So she just said she was having a vulnerable moment and she knew Sutton was going through some things and she apologized, but she said she had a terrible childhood too. So some things were triggering her. So then Sutton apologizes to Jennifer for barking at her. So cool, y'all good? Okay, cool. Let's move on. On to Sutton and Dorit. Dorit says Sutton had a look in her eye, honey. That look, she know that look. You know what I'm talking about. And when you get that look, You go to the dark side. Sutton is like, girl, what you seeing is exhaustion. What are you talking about? I'm old and surly. I am my mother's daughter. If I'm up too late and ain't had a nap, I look crazy. Dorit was like, no, you were upset. So Dorit says that, that was the final straw for her when Sutton didn't come to her. No book in sight, book cover reveal. Dorit, get over it. This little event wasn't nothing. It's giving you was forced to have an event and this is what you came up with. Girl, why couldn't you just have a brunch at your house? And then they could have, then after y'all ate, they could have helped you pack. Woo, okay, I'm sorry. Oh, that was good. Okay, where we at? Okay, so Sutton said she was not coming for Dorit. Okay, wait, I said that. Okay. Dorit says, oh, the final straw. Okay. So Dorit says, I came to her fashion show. Girl, I had forgot all about Sutton's fashion show. Child, that was hilarious. So Sutton says, yeah, and you came with some old crazy look on your face. I can't remember exactly what she said. And she said, you couldn't wait to trash my fashion show. And Dorita's like, what does that have to do with you not coming to my event? I'm like, you can't even, this girl is unreasonable. That's the best word I can describe Dorit. Unreasonable. Besties, drop down in the comment section and describe Dorit in one word. And don't use narcissistic. Mine is unreasonable. Because she don't even listen. And I think she has a time comprehending. I don't think Dorit is that smart either. Okay, so Sutton says, yeah, Sutton's like, yeah, you came, but you couldn't wait to trash my event. So Dorita's like, well, what does that have to do with you not coming to my event? So Andy tries to explain to Dorit how Sutton feels. She didn't want to come trash her event, be mean to you. She didn't want to do all that. Dorit don't get it. And she tells Andy that his analogy wasn't good. He said, well, I thought it was perfect. I'm like, fire her. How do you talk to your boss like that? So disrespectful, so unreasonable. So she said, she was hurt that Erica went over Sutton's house instead of coming to her event. Girl, you are taking this event too. Like, this event wasn't nothing. Dorit, it was nothing. A book cover? Calm down. And y'all know the book ain't even out yet. It got pushed back twice. It was supposed to come out in April. They moved it to June. They done moved it to September now. Child. Dorit, is the book coming out at all? Stop playing with us. Was this just a storyline? Girl. So Eric was like, check this out. I was hurt. Dorit, when you told me that I'm trying to save my job and I'm just doing stuff, she said, I poured my heart out talking about my DV story, and it hurts coming from with somebody that you love talks like that about all this. Like, you have no regard for Erica's feelings and what she going through. Like, all Dorit care about, well, what about my book event? So what, you got punched in the face? So what, somebody was at your house knocking you all up inside your head and through the walls and punching you and pushing you and choking you and headlocking you, and you had to call the police? So what? Why wasn't you at my book event? I'm hurt you was at Sutton's house. Girl, shut up. Dorit hurt, Erica is hurt. Dorit said Bose, Erica said in the last straw, first you said, I'm just talking mess to save my job. Then you say Bose has supported you more than any of us. I know you lying. She said, but you let loose on me. Why you do that? What you mean why she do that? Because you are a loose cannon, Dorit. So Andy asked Dorit, does she want to apologize to Erica? And you know that have to ask for what? Ooh. She said it with her whole chest. She was looking like, for what? She didn't come to my book event. Child, I'm about sick of Dorit. I can't handle it. Besties. That was the end of part 2. We got one more reunion to go. What else is there to talk about? I'm not even sure. What Bowles? I think we have her package. Because tonight's package was tried to be Amanda, but Dorit hijacked her package. Amanda and Kyle and Sutton. Okay. Besties, you know what to do. If you're new, subscribe to my channel. You won't be disappointed. If you've been here for a while, like, comment, hype. Do y'all know how to hype? Comment, slide the comment section over to your left, push the hype button, and you'll see the numbers scrolling. Besties, I'll be back tomorrow with Bell Collective Birmingham. Bye, besties.